Don't forget that. That's the most important part. Acknowledging your audience's appreciation for your beautiful music.
Thank you.
Okay, very nice. You play music. It's very nice and musical the way you play. Do you have any ideas of what you would like to work on? Is there anything that
I kind of want to work on, you know, the part where it's like the end part where you do the C, like how to fade out with vibrato.
Okay.
It's kind of gets chopped up.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you don't have to use vibrato all the time. You have a
Yeah.
lovely vibrato.
Thank you.
So, you know, we don't really have to work on how to make a vibrato. So that's nice. But what you might want to do is, let me just show you an exercise that you could use that will help you with that, okay? And it's just take any note. And what's the note you want to work on? C?
On C.
C? So the C? That one?
It might be a C sharp.
It's like you play from memory. It's
Yeah, I know. It's like, oh, and how to start there and, you know, where to get to that.
yeah.
Yeah, it's probably good to have that for reference.
C sharp, yeah.
C sharp. Okay. So let's just take a C sharp and start with a good loud tone. This is not the C sharp that's in that piece. This is an exercise, okay? So we'll start with a good loud tone and lovely vibrato, and we'll make a diminuendo, okay? And let's just hear you play that. Okay, well that was nice. Can you start even louder though? Let's start forte. That was kind of mezzo piano. Can you get a forte? Yeah, I hear what you're talking about. As it gets softer, the vibrato kind of goes like that, right? I was exaggerating. It didn't sound that bad. Okay, so what we want to do is the way I think of vibrato is when the louder we're playing, the more vibrato we need. The softer we're playing, it sounds funny to have a big vibrato, right? So there are two qualities to vibrato. There's the speed of it, you know. You can have a slow vibrato, right? Which sounds kind of funny. And you could have a fast vibrato. Now the fast vibrato sounds better when it's a little bit narrower, which brings me to the second quality of vibrato, is amplitude. So you know what amplitude is? How wide it is. Yeah. So you can have a wide vibrato, which sounds kind of funny. But then you could have a very narrow vibrato, which is so narrow you can barely hear it. Okay, so it's a good idea to practice, since you're concerned about your vibrato, it's a good idea to practice these exercises with all different combinations of those two qualities. A wide, fast vibrato, a wide, slow vibrato, a narrow, fast vibrato, a narrow, slow vibrato. And what I think you're going to find is that when you're playing loud, it's good to have a wider and faster vibrato, or a little bit, not real fast, but maybe a little on the slower side. And when you play softly, it's better to have a very narrow vibrato and maybe a little faster. So can we try that exercise now, going from loud to soft, and thinking about when you're loud, you're going to be a little wider, and really go for it. You know, even make it sound kind of weird. Go for the extreme, okay? We're going to make it into kind of a funny exercise. That's it. Yeah. Okay, and now let's play the soft version, where we play very narrow, okay? So now, I don't know how you learned vibrato. Did your teacher talk to you about how to make a vibrato, or did you just kind of do it automatically?
I just did it.
You just did it, okay. Well, sometimes people have a hard time learning vibrato, and then their teacher has to teach them, you know, a learning exercise for vibrato. And the way we do that is teaching like abdominal pushing, what I call breath accents. So if you think of it in real slow motion, it would be like that. You want to try that? You feel it here? You can
Bobbing
feel
up and down like that.
Yeah, no, you don't have to bob up and down, because we can hear that. You know, you don't have to show us, but you can feel right here. You know, right here. Some people feel like a pushing out. Some people feel a pushing in. And some people feel a pushing down. Kind of a strange concept, isn't it? But shall we try that?
Like angular.
Angular, okay. Let's think of pushing down. Let's just see if that kind of helps. Can you get that feeling of pushing down?
Yeah, kind of like
Yeah. Okay, so when I look at your abdomen, I don't see a whole lot going on there, so I'm not sure what you're feeling, but when I do it, see if you can see something happening here. Can you see movement? Kind of, okay. That time I was thinking pushing out so that you'd be able to see it really well. Okay, so that's something to work on. It doesn't, if you can't do it, if you can't show it in your abdomen, it doesn't mean you can't play with vibrato. It just means that it's one way of getting that real powerful kind of forcing tone, you know. So now let's go to the other extreme and play with a much narrower, faster vibrato. Now we're not going to feel it so much in our abdomen. Of course, we always want the support from there, but we're going to feel it more in our vocal cords, in our throat, which means you have to keep a very open throat in order to let the vibrato speak. If your throat is closed off or tight in any way, then that's really going to affect the vibrato. So real nice, open kind of tone, kind of, sometimes it helps to think of yawning, and then everybody starts yawning.
Oh, look, there's a golf ball in there.
Oh, a golf ball. You know what somebody else's idea is a raw egg. And you don't want to crush the egg, and all the yolk will go dribbling down. Yeah. So you want to keep it balanced there nicely without crushing it. So keep that throat open. Don't crush the egg. Okay, now, yeah, there you go. Now, where are you feeling that vibrato?
Like
Here? Okay. And then when you sped it up there at the end, where did you feel that?
more right here.
Yeah, right. So you see, you're proving my point, exactly. You know, the wider and louder and you know, bigger the vibrato, it's down here. But as you speed it up and get into more of a natural sounding vibrato, it's going to be up more in your throat. And you're going to feel that kind of going up your body like that. So as you get to that diminuendo, we're going to feel it more in our throat. This is a more natural kind of singing vibrato, right? And actually, by the end of your taper, when you're tapering off, you can get rid of the vibrato totally and just taper with a straight tone. And it sounds very musical. So let me see if I can demonstrate. You want to try that? That's it, yeah. So, yeah, well, at the very end, yeah. But so you can work on that. And what you do is you, the softer the tone, the smaller the embouchure opening, right? And the higher the pressure, okay? Do you feel air pressure when you play the flute? Do you know what I'm talking about? So one way to demonstrate that is to go like this. Pretend you're blowing up a balloon, and this is going to be my balloon, okay? Okay, try it. Blow against it really hard, and then all of a sudden pull it away and see what happens. There, that's it. And let that air just come whooshing out. Just like the balloon, after you let it go and it goes. Okay.
Want me to do it again?
Yeah. Yeah. So did you feel, before you let go of your thumb, did you feel all that kind of, all that air inside was pushing out, wanting to come out? Yeah. So that's air pressure. Now you never feel quite that much when you're playing the flute, but you feel less of it when you're playing forte, because that forte, your air is just whoosh, whooshing out. You're not holding much back, right? But when you're playing piano, you're holding a lot of air back. And so you're going to feel a little more air pressure. So smaller aperture opening here and more air pressure inside your body. And the other thing we have to be careful about when we're making a diminuendo is that we don't go flat. And you're probably trying to keep from going flat, aren't you? So when we do that, we want to think of aiming our air up a little bit more. All right, so let's try a diminuendo on that note again. And think of, your aperture opening sort of narrowing down and your air kind of going up a little bit. And just see how long you can keep it there before it dips or cracks or goes down an octave or something.
Or I run out of breath.
That's it? Yeah, lovely. Did you do anything differently that time? Okay. And you can extend that. I mean, you can play around with that idea and extend that period of time where you're really narrowing it down just before you actually close it off or finish playing the note. So how long can you keep it at that ultra pianissimo level, So does that give you some ideas to work on for vibrato and tapering off that note? Okay, good. Now, a couple things that I wanted to work on, and we go to, you got here a little bit late, so
Yes.
we'll go another like 10 or 15 minutes.
Yes,
Okay.
It was half an hour.
Okay.
I forgot when we started.
Yeah. I'd like to hear you play this. Now, I'm going to ask you something else really silly because you play this very musically, and it's a very kind of a sad song, isn't it? It's in, what key it's in?
I think it's in the E flat. Might be E.
Well, I'm just going to ask you another question. Do you know what the companion piece to this is?
Isn't it the one in book 2, the first song?
Yeah. The minuet.
Yeah.
Gluck minuet. And that is in what key, if you remember?
Well, it has a C in it.
It has a B flat in it.
And it has a B flat in it. And it ends with
on...
D. I don't know. I think
it ends on F.
Really?
Yeah.
F? Oh, because then it has that little thing that goes in. Oh, yeah, because it goes into the humorous one. And Orphee says F. Okay.
Anyway, so the minuet is in the key of F, and this is in the relative minor.